Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Mr. K back here. It is day three of the 2020-21 school year. Today, just real quick to end the first week. I hope you're having a great week. I just got done. Today is Tuesday for me recording this. I just got done meeting with a bunch of 8th graders, a bunch of 7th graders, and a bunch of 6th graders. It's been a great day so far. So I just want to tell you how thrilled I am to be a part of this with you now. What I want to do with you today, after Monday, you got to know me a little bit. Yesterday, I got to know you a little bit. Hopefully you filled out the Google form, just giving me some information on you so I can get to know you better. And today what I want to do is just quickly go over the syllabus to end the week, give you time with your families to go over it and to understand what is in there and ask any questions if you need to, so we all feel comfortable. So I'm just going to jump right into it. I'm not going to read all of it verbatim because I can explain it to you with a little more detail than me just reading it to you. But what I want to do is just go over a few things. In my initial video, I made it clear to you that this is my email. So please make sure you know that this is my email. Not Kay Krieger. That will go to Kathy Krieger over at the BC campus. And I want to not flood her inbox with a bunch of stuff that's for me. So please be sure you're really careful. Now, here's an important part, and I'm going to come back to this down here. Being that I am a virtual teacher, I'm keeping the same hours that I would keep if I were a classroom teacher. And I have a pretty strict policy of keeping family time sacred. So Monday to Friday, I'm available to the students from 7:45 until 4:30. That is my time. You should not expect if you message me or email me after 4:30 to get a response until the next day. And I'll explain more on that why a little bit further down. But just to be really clear, I'm thrilled to be with you this year. I know virtually is not the way we wanted it to be, but we were able to put together what we think is as good a plan as we could in the circumstances. And I'm thrilled to get to know you and to work with you this school year. And I hope that at some point we're going to all be back together. But until then, we're going to do the best we can with this virtual. So I am the 8th grade social studies teacher at Seven Hills. This is my second year doing that. But I am also this year the social studies distance learning teacher. So what that means is I create all the lessons and assignments for the 8th graders. But day to day, I am working with 6th, 7th, and 8th graders who are in the virtual classroom. So the 8th graders that are in the hybrid, on days that they're on campus, they're going to be working with Mr. Wongard. They'll watch my video, do my assignment, but they will be working with Mr. Wongard when they have questions. On the days when they're at home, they'll be working with me. But also the virtual students in the other grades, 7th and 6th, will be watching the videos of Mr. Wongard and Mr. Plog and then working with me when they're at home. So I know that's kind of confusing, but that's the way it's going to work. So I'm putting together all the 8th grade lessons, but day to day, I'm working with the students who are working from home. So here are a few things you need to know this year. Last year it was, you need this notebook, you need these pencils, you need these different things. But right now, the first thing I'm going to start with is this is going to be a year where we learn as we go. We know that there are going to be times where everybody's internet fails and other problems arise. We know that we're all learning how to plan through these days and to get our work done, myself included. And we're trying to live as normal life as we can in this unprecedented time. But I'm committed to making this a special year and really helping the students grow and learn and make the most out of this difficult time, because we learn the most in these difficult times. But I really want to make sure that you understand that we're all going to have to be flexible. We're all going to have to learn and adapt and grow. And if we come in with that expectation, we can just deal with the changes and the things as they come. Because as the system evolves and as we figure out what the kids can do and what we can do and all that stuff, we're going to learn and we're going to grow. So let's just make sure that we all give ourselves a little bit of grace and a little bit of empathy. And we just realize that we're all trying to do the best we can here. And we're all doing our best with what we've got. So coming back to the point I made a little earlier, I am available 7:45 to 4:30, Monday through Friday. I do want to acknowledge that there will be some families and students that will be working on assignments and activities after 4:30. And I want to make sure you know that students who have questions and maybe don't finish assignments because they couldn't get their questions answered till the next day will not be downgraded. But I just, being that I'm home every day, I have to draw a line somewhere and really make sure that I have a work life and a family life. I mentioned this earlier. We're actually less than 2 months now from getting married. So I really need to maintain that separation as much as I can. So you're going to get a kickback email from me if it's after 4:30 that just says, hey, I'm out of my classroom, but I will get back to you as soon as I can. So I hope that you can respect that. And I promise that over time, we'll find ways to make this work, but no kids are going to be penalized because they were working on an assignment late and didn't get their question answered. So please make sure you know that. We're still working on exactly what grading looks like in terms of how everything is going to be weighted. To start the year, let's just keep in mind that a lot of it is going to be based on completion. Now, completion does not mean that there are just things filled out. Completion means that it is clear that you gave effort to complete the assignment to the best of your abilities. One thing to be mindful of, students, do not just click submit or click done on an assignment and think that that is completion. We had a problem last spring with a lot of assignments that were click done, but were blank. You will not get credit for those. We are going to be doing at least one summative assessment a week, whether that's a short quiz or a writing assignment or something like that. We're still working on what that actually looks like, but we will keep you posted as this situation evolves and as we figure out what the right amount of work is and what the right amount of questions is and what everybody's doing and what we can do. So we are evolving on that, but that's where we're at right now. The last thing, I have an Instagram account. It is @it's Kyle Krieger. Now I have this as my strictly teacher account. So what I post on there is stuff from my classes, things that I'm thinking, things that I might have missed that I wanted to say to kids that I didn't want to put out on Google Classroom, and other things that just inspire me as a teacher and things that I think are meaningful, that motivational piece with kids. And the reason I'm out there is because it's a place where kids can connect to me in a more native platform to what they actually are. Now, I can connect with them on Google Classroom and it's been great so far, but they're on Instagram. It's a place where they live. It's a place that they're understanding. So I have that available to them. It's 100% optional, but please be mindful. Your student will never have anything posted on there. Your student's picture will never be posted. Their likeness, none of that will be on there. And it's not a place for me to build, and I'm not trying to be their friend on there, is the best way to say it. I'm their teacher. They are my students. That relationship will be taken appropriately into it. But I want to make that avenue available to you as a place where your students can get a little bit more than what I have. I also have a YouTube channel where they can go and get more than just the videos that I put out for class. So I am out there online in other places providing supplementary content, lessons, and it really lets me dive deeper into the motivational and the positivity side of what I love to do with teaching, because I'm missing that piece of being connected to the kids and having those, side conversations at lunch or in the hallway. So that's really where I'm trying to connect on that front is through that. So that is available to you. It is not required. It is not mandatory. It is a public platform. It is 100% out there for people to see. And if you want to go check it out, you can @it's Kyle Krieger. So That's the things you need to know. A lot different from last year, but I think these are the most important things you need to know right now. And one quick point, in terms of supplies, I can't really think of supplies. Most everything is going to be done online, but if you want notebooks or stuff to have that help you do that, that's up to you. But I'm not requiring any supplies this year. All right, moving down to global studies. All right, so this year's class, it's been called geography in the past. The proper term for it is 8th grade global studies, contemporary global studies. So this year the class in social studies is contemporary global studies with an emphasis on geography. So what we're doing is we're taking the time frame 1950 to present. So we're picking up right where Mr. Wongard left off with them, right at the end of World War II, and studying that time frame from 1950 to the present. It is a heavy emphasis on geography, but it is not strictly we're studying the continents and oceans. It is definitely more of an in-depth bringing all the social studies into it. So we're going to study how the economic global system has developed, how the history of that time, whether it's Vietnam, whether it's civil rights, whether it's the Cold War, whether it's, things in the 1990s like the AIDS epidemic or the Rwandan genocide. I'm just throwing things out there. And then we'll get into climate change, and we'll get into, the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan and all the things that have happened in the 21st century. All those things are going to be connected. We're going to study economics. We're going to study history. We're going to study sociology. We're going to study cultures. And yes, we're going to have that heavy emphasis on geography. But I want to make sure you're clear that it's not just we're studying the continents and oceans kind of class. All right. And most of all, I should add this part too. It will have an emphasis on contemporary issues. It will have an emphasis on contemporary issues, talking about the things that are going on in real time. So with that part, here's an important thing, and I am going to read this verbatim right off of here. The importance of discourse and discussion. As a part of this class and the mission of Seven Hills Prep Academy, we have discussions and discourse about topics that people may not agree on. We understand that in our current politically charged world, your students see a lot of name calling and divisiveness around them. We will not shy away from having tough conversations and will not tolerate the name calling, shaming, and insults that we see too often online. Although we may not share the same opinion, we will treat each other with the utmost respect and will make our arguments based on facts and analysis of current and historical events. Every voice will be heard and respected. We will be as objective as possible with our studies this year and appreciate all views so long as they do not shame or demean people. That includes students, families, cultures, identities, groups, or races. And I'm sure I left a few off of there as well. We want to show students how to disagree with someone without being disagreeable. Now, all that being said, it's important to talk civic engagement, to talk citizenship, to talk about the things that have happened in our community recently. And I understand that everyone's opinions are different. Certain issues are more important to certain people than others. And yes, there are some fierce opinions that are pretty set in stone. I get all that. I get that we all have biases. We all bring our own personal opinions and beliefs into it. But in this class, we will be respectful. We will talk about facts. We will do historical analysis. We will look at things objectively. And we will talk about them in a way that does not ever demean or shame people for who they are or for what they believe. That does not, however, mean that people who hurl insults or who say things that are factually untrue will not be asked to account for those. And what that would look like is if I believe something to be factually inaccurate, I will ask the person where they got their facts from. Where did you learn that? Where did you see that? So that way we can all go check to make sure the information is accurate. I get that in the next 60 days, we're going to have an election and it's going to get real spicy just about everywhere in this country. But I think we can learn, myself included as an adult and the students, how to have a disagreement with someone without being disagreeable. That means how you can disagree with someone's opinion while still respecting them as a person and seeing who they are as a person. We always talk about this. Some of the people I teach with and I work with is we are not going to say they or them. We're not going to blanket statement groups. We're not going to assume everybody on one side of the issue is this way or everybody on the other side of an issue is that way. We're going to name people. We're going to talk about people in specific to make these issues more human. That's a really important part of this class. So with that being said, down to our last part. I know there's a lot of uncertainty. There's a ton of uncertainty right now regarding what this year is going to bring. And I know there are a lot more questions than we have answers to. But I want to make sure students and parents, if you have concerns, if you have questions about this class or anything, please communicate those. I will try to do the best I can to keep you up to date on the things that are going on, how things are going, how things might be changing. But I would rather hear from you that you're concerned about something so we can talk about it and I can fix it. We can find a way to make it work rather than to have, something fester for months on end and then, something goes sideways. So let's try the best we can to have this open communication and to make sure that everyone's on the same page. I'm going to try to do better about communicating, whether it's via email, whether it's via video. I think most of you as parents are invited to our Google Classroom. If you're not, please do so. Have your student include you. And like I said, you can find me on YouTube. You can find me on Instagram. You can see what I'm about. And I want to be as transparent as I can right now and through this year about what I'm going through. And it's a process that I'm learning too. I'm very technology savvy, but I've never taught, 3 different grades over virtual while planning the classes for 1 grade, but grading the classes for 3 grades and trying to ensure that your kids are getting as much as they possibly can socially, emotionally, and educationally. It's a big task, but I think that we as a collective school are up to it. I believe that I am up to it. And I can't tell you how honored I am to be on this journey with you and your students. I'm humbled to be in this position and to be able to share this year with you. So attached to this assignment in Google Classroom is a short Google form that's just going to say, it's basically going to ask for your signature. Do you understand it? And give you a space that if you have questions, that you can fill it out, and I will try to get back with you. But as I said, I couldn't be more honored to be in this position, more thrilled to be working with you. And I've got nothing but love for everybody. I've enjoyed the first couple of days, and I think it's going to be a great year. So please don't hesitate to reach out. Again, Kyle Krieger at shpamn.org. But this is our last lesson for the week. Tomorrow morning, I will be available in the morning through most of the day. I'll actually be with Mr. Wongard and Mr. Plog. So if you got questions, shoot them over to us. Maybe we'll shoot a couple of videos for you. But nothing but love for you. Namaste, mahalo, all those different things. Talk soon.